All right, are you looking for what you could possibly buy in Central Texas for somewhere around 850,000? Guys, I recently did a walkthrough for a client of mine out in Bulverde, Texas, which is just north of San Antonio. Now, Bulverde and the area around, west of Austin, Dripping Springs, Johnson City, all of that area have a lot in common, a lot of rugged beauty. And this property is no different, rugged beauty, but it's an acre and the house is absolutely spectacular. So I'm going to give you a walkthrough of this thing. Some of my favorite features are the ceilings, and I'm really kind of intrigued by the backyard because I think the lot could be done with it. It's not landscaped now, but man, it could be really cool, especially if you added a pool in it. So let's take a look at what you can get somewhere around $850,000 in Central Texas, more specifically Bulverde. Okay, so starting out just here on the front, got a lot of concrete here, a lot of parking. The lot's not very wide and the house is fairly close to the front. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of concrete, but it would be good for parking. Got the circular driveway. Septic system is up here on the front. It's an aerobic system. I'm sure that they've got a spray field somewhere. I haven't found it yet. It's probably in the back. Really quiet neighborhood. Again, middle of the day, about 11 o'clock. Not a lot of cars have come by yet. House just feels good when you come up to it. Um, I'll give you a lot of my walkthrough thoughts as we go, but having walked through it once, I really like the layout of it. It feels good inside. I'll point out some things that I wish they would have done a little better. And some things that I think they really did well. So one of the things that does not have any carpet in it, I know you probably saw that from the listing. I'm a fan of this blonde wood now. And when you walk in, you're looking straight through the backyard. There's a lot of trees in the backyard, really, really pretty. Um, the ceilings, I really like the ceilings. Here they've got a traditional tray ceiling that goes up. But in most of the other rooms, the tray ceilings drop down. They're called drop ceilings. But I really like the feel. There's a lot of light. There's natural light. There's artificial light everywhere. Really good feel. Right to the left, you've got a big dining room. You could put a table for probably 12 or 14 people in here pretty easily. Again, drop ceiling, recessed lights in addition to the chandelier. On the front of the house, you've got these plantation shutters, not only on the windows, but on the doors. So you can have privacy there if you need to. Living room there. Kitchen. You've got secondary bedrooms off to this side. The master is back off to that side. From here, I'll start with what most people want to see, which is the living area. Massive living room. I'm a fan of these. They're LED fireplaces. You don't have to worry about wood. They do heat a little bit. The only downside is if we do have really cold weather and you lose electricity, you're not going to have anything to heat the house, but it at least offers a good little focal point there. Fireplace goes all the way up. Got the 4-way drop ceiling in here. Really nice look. And I can't tell yeah, it is. So one of the things with this builder is they do some custom detail work. A lot of times with a new home, your walls and the ceilings are going to be the same color, but this one, the walls are darker, the ceilings are lighter. It gives it a good feel. Again, you can see that darker piece here. It's just that contrast that feels good. They've got blinds on all the windows. I'll work one of those after a while to let you know that I kind of like these blinds, the Roman shade style. Another little breakfast area there. Kitchen is absolutely beautiful. Well, barring for style, if that's your style, it is beautiful. Wine fridge over here, microwave, 36-inch range with an oven there. Refrigerator is here. That's not always the case. They've got the upper cabinets, little display cabinets. They're not good for much, but they look cool. The backsplash is not tile. A lot of people are starting to go to this look now, and I like it. It's a lot easier to clean. You don't have to worry about grout. 2 dishwashers. Big farmhouse sink. Not an overly deep sink, but it is a big farmhouse style sink. Over there, office master. Very large pantry. can add a lot more shelves if you need to. One of the things that I'm a fan of here, and again, this is a little custom detail that people don't think about. You've got a larger spot here with a plug. So if you wanted your coffee station in here, or toasters, things that you did not want outside, you can have them here inside the pantry. Personally, that's where we've got our microwave, but the microwave here is already built in, so there's no need for that. But you can have your appliances in here. It just keeps the clutter off of your kitchen countertops. All right, we will step out onto the back. Okay, this porch is kind of facing it's a little bit to the southeast, which is going to give you a decent little breeze, or should in the summer. You do have a lot of trees back here, so the breeze is going to be minimal, but that is at least the prevailing wind coming from that way. Large patio, you're looking at probably 10 by 20. Really good size. You see the neighbors there. It looks like the neighborhood is not going to allow privacy fences. So you do have a little bit more room between neighbors, but there's not going to be privacy. And I know that you guys see this in Colorado Springs quite a bit, but we've got a couple of deer over here grazing. As I'm out here, a lot of deer out in this area. Beautiful oak trees. There are some cedar trees here, and I'd mentioned those earlier. It looks like what they're doing is allowing some of those to grow back in between these two lots for a little bit maybe of a natural privacy, natural barrier there. And now that I say that, there are actually a couple here as well. I haven't dove into this on an overhead map, but it looks like there's a road back there. I don't know if it's a ranch road or a small farm to market road. It's not a big one. And I believe the lot goes all the way back to there. So the backyard is huge. You are not landscaped here. And a lot of houses are going to be like that. You would have to do landscaping on your own if you wanted it. If y'all wanted a nicer yard, personally, I would put in artificial turf so I didn't have to water it out here. But anyway, you would need, if you wanted a yard or a swimming pool or whatever, you would need to add that after the fact. Everything on the outside is stucco or hardy, with the exception of your fascia boards, these boards on the front. I really wish they would have done hardy boards there. You are going to have to keep those painted so that they don't rot, and eventually they are going to rot. But this is the way houses have been built forever. It's just now that we do have hardy, I wish builders would use it a little more often. And again, in the back, it is super, super quiet. Man, it's quiet here. All right, I'll tell you what, let's start with the office and then the master bedroom. Office right here on the front of the house. Again, plantation shutters. This is a big office. You are looking at probably 12 by 16 this way deep. Plenty of room here for two people to office in this room. Again, drop down ceilings, recessed lights, ceiling fan. All the rooms do have ceiling fans. Again, that same ceiling detail down through the hallway. Let's head into the master. So the bedroom is here to the left. The bathroom is to the right. Huge, huge master bedroom. This thing is massive. I'm usually pretty good at just estimating the size on smaller rooms. I would need a tape measure here because it's at least 16 by 20. Your bed would potentially go there. You do have area over here for TVs. I don't know if y'all are TV on the wall type people, but you could put a bed, nightstands in between the windows. The windows would be wider than your king bed and nightstands. And then you would have sitting area over there if you wanted. You put a chase lounge between those windows. There's a lot of room in here. Again, ceiling fan. This one is a tray ceiling, a pop-up. And here are those Roman shades I was talking about. So they're just, if you've ever seen them, you stop them in the middle. If you go all the way down, you can stop them in the middle like that and give yourself privacy, or you can pull it to where the blackout areas line up to allow yourself more light and still a little bit of privacy. But those are on all windows except for the front where the plantation shutters are. Okay, bathroom. again, huge. Really nice feature wall right there. I don't know about the orange lights. Maybe that's good. Maybe it's not. But they took the tile all the way up the wall. It's a really nice feature there. Again, really nice custom feature. Larger vanity is on this side, and it's his and hers closets also. Hers large, well, and it could be his larger one and a smaller one over here. So this closet, lots of room. You probably have 14, 18, probably about 24 feet of rod space in here. And then you do have shoe space as well. And again, you could put another rod and shelf up top for winter clothes. And then this closet is about twice as wide, same depth. So shirts, pants. You know, the only thing that's interesting in here is neither of these closets has a spot for dresses. That's a miss. But again, a lot of space for shoes there. Let me double check the side just to make sure there's not dress space in here. There's not. So that's a miss. I will say the granite in the bathrooms I absolutely love. If you can see it, it's kind of textured. It's what they call that leather finish, but there's so much grain in here that it almost feels like a piece of wood. It's absolutely beautiful. I personally love it. Massive, massive shower. A lot of the wet areas, they've got some type of hexagon floor tile, you know, whether or not you like it, it is there. Have two shower nooks here, rain shower and a body wand. Couple of things that I do like that they did. They do have the Schluter trim around here, which gives you a nice finished look. And they've got that Schluter trim on all of the tile edges. Again, that's a nice little custom upgrade that you don't see everywhere. And they've even got it here on the tile up above the bathtub. There's only one shower head, and the controls are underneath it. A lot of times now we're seeing controls on an outside wall. Again, it's a more expensive option. They chose not to do it in this one. I mean, this builder may not ever do it in any of his homes, but it's one of those things. You know, it'd be nice to see another shower head on this side and exterior controls, but not a big deal. Most houses do not have that. That's just me being picky. Another thing that I like is the seamless or the frameless glass. They do have a brace going across, and they've got it in one of the other bedrooms too. It just stabilizes that glass panel quite a bit. I really like that feature on there. The other thing that they stopped a little short on is I would have loved to see them come up to the top on with the tile all the way up. Again, it's nitpicking on my part, but you know that's what I'm seeing a lot more now. But fair point being that a lot of times that's in houses that are $1 million plus. It doesn't seem like it's that expensive to take that tile all the way to the top, but it's a little bit harder to find it in the price point. Even under $1 million. Okay, this would be a guest room back left of the house. Way enough room for a king size bed in here as well. All the rooms and everything in this house are large. Big closet in here again. Teenage kiddo that needs their own space or guest. Got a big window in here. Do have plantation shutters in the back. They have their own bathroom. Again, this is white hexagon. That same granite. And here's that other rod going across to strengthen that glass. Same thing. Big shower nook insert. This is actually the same shower setup, the hand and top setup as the master. And the same tile in there too. Another nice little custom feature in here as I do this, and this is the same in the master. This tile is the same height, so whether it's an aging parent, if y'all ever have that possibility, being able to get in without a trip hazard, just to be able to, or even roll a wheelchair in, that is really nice, and that has to be taken care of prior to slab pour. This is a mud set pan, so it's all sloped down to the middle. But again, that's just a nice little custom feature that I like. Something that you don't find in production homes and something that you don't find in older homes. All right, let's go take a look at these last bedrooms and the garage. Oh, by the way, so I'd never heard of Z-Line appliances, and all of these appliances are Z-Line. Did a little bit of research. Really quick reviews is that they're comparable to GE Cafe line, which is the top of the line for Cafe or top of the line for GE, and basically like KitchenAid style or KitchenAid quality. I'm sure it's not quite the quality because they're a little bit cheaper, but anyway, that's what I found. But you may want to research Z-Line just to see. And this is Z-Line, also 36-inch cooktop. I should have shown you. They do have propane gas here, filler, pot filler there. And then the cabinets, the drawers are soft close. The, the doors are not. But one other thing, and I check this on cabinets all the time. I'm so anal about this. If you look, these cabinets are solid wood boxes. They are plywood, which is basically the top end when you go into cabinets. As long as I look here and I'm not seeing particle board, I'm usually pretty happy. The fronts are solid wood. They are considered solid wood boxes because that is plywood there. So that's definitely nice to see in a house here at this price point. I've seen houses that are $1.5 million that do not have that, and it drives me up the wall. Okay, like I mentioned, everything in here is big, the rooms. So this hallway is a wide hallway. It's a 5-foot wide hallway. That's the garage. We've got a bathroom over there. Oh, sorry, utility room, bedroom. There's a bathroom back here, another bedroom. And then here you have a guest bath. So again, I really, really like this layout. Now, whether or not you need this big dining room is one thing, but just the overall layout is so smart. It's really a good design because this is your guest bath. It's removed from the living area. It's removed from everything. You don't have to worry about sounds and all that stuff with this. So definitely like the location of the guest bath. Again, you've got that large patterned hexagon floor. This is the same countertop as is in the kitchen. One little miss in here, and it may be because of stud placement, but this is anal for me. And again, I told you in a former life, I used to build houses. So if you go straight up the middle, that light is off center. And again, it may be because of the stud, but it is off center. And now you may have never noticed it, but because I told you, now you will never not see it. So for that, I apologize. Flooring, wood floors, the exact same wood floors through the house. Absolutely love it. Storage, you've got another, in addition to the big pantry, you've got another closet here. That's a large storage closet. There is not a coat closet in the front hall. I just thought about that. So just data point. Okay, again, bedrooms, large. All of these bedrooms can house a king size bed. All the bedrooms have plantation shutters. These ceiling fans feel a little bit small to me for these big bedrooms, but now with DC motors and these 3-blade fans, a lot of times they move as much air as the old 60. I don't know what the movement, the CFM on these are. They just feel a little bit small. So this, again, data point, nothing major, but a thought. Closets, again, really good size. Goes around the corner. You've got 10 feet of rod length in there. This is a Jack and Jill. Again, white hexagon floor, that same bathroom granite. There are 2 vanities in here, or 2 sinks, which is really nice. A lot of times in a Jack and Jill, you don't see that. Again, really big bathroom. And then in here, you've got the shared bathtub. Again, you've got the Schluter trim giving you that nice clean edge. And so you can have one kid can be brushing teeth, one kid can be showering, no problem. And then this room, I feel, might even be a little bit bigger than the one that we just got out of. I'm trying to figure out if they're identical size. I feel like this one's a little bit bigger. Again, same ceiling fan in here. This closet is about the same size. It's just configured a little bit differently. It's longer in, the other one's wider. Okay. And then we will go and check out the garage. A couple of little notes out here. Oh, and I'm going to take you up into the attic here in a second too. Utility room, huge utility room, washout sink. You've got room here for an additional freezer, fridge. Really, really nice size room. One note, there is propane in the house for the stove, but they do not have the option for the dryer. Usually with propane, you don't see the dryer option because propane is a little bit more expensive than natural gas. But again, just a little bit of a note, this would need to be a electric dryer. All right, out to the garage. Two-car garage, fairly standard. We do have a little bit of extra room here on this side, so it's a little wider than a normal garage. And that's because this is where your water heater and it also has where your water heater is. And it also has a water softener, which is pretty important for this area. So whole house water softener here, 50-gallon water heater. Sorry, I lost my words for a second. I would love to have seen a tankless water heater set up in here. They are a little bit more expensive. That's why a lot of people don't go with them. And also a note on this, probably the reason they didn't do tankless is, again, you would want to use gas for tankless. They're a lot more efficient. And because they don't, they only have propane, it's not natural gas. This is an electric heater. So that's more than likely the decision that they made is so they, propane again is a little bit more expensive. So, they went with an electric water heater. Nothing else necessarily fancy in here, except for the plantation shutters on the front of the house. At least they made it the same all the way throughout. Looks like also, let me see. Oh, yep. They actually have 240 here in case there's a welder or anything like that. So that's an interesting addition. And again, one of those little custom things that's pretty nice. All right, let me go get these stairs down and we can go up into the attic and take a look at that. All right, up here in the attic, it's loose fill insulation, which is pretty standard. HVAC unit here. They do have, it looks like, yeah, they've got UV light sterilization in here. So that's kind of a nice little upgrade. This is a Rude system, which again, that's a higher end HVAC system. They've got a giant April air filter here. So more than likely a HEPA filter, or you could get a HEPA filter for it. So that looks like, nope, there's a dual system. So the house has two. That is one. And then as we go across, here's the second system here. Again, the exact same, a little bit smaller system, but it is the Rude system with the UV. And overall, I mean, looks like it's supposed to up here. It is a stick framed house. I'm not seeing pre-built trusses or anything. And everything really looks the way that it's supposed to. Obviously, anything would have a an inspection if you guys wanted to move forward on this. So there's a couple of things that I'm kind of looking at. First of all, I don't know if we're short on insulation down here or if it's been like settled or what, but here too, it looks like it's a little bit low on insulation, but an inspector would measure that and see. So they may have to come back in and add a little bit more insulation. The other thing that's crazy to me is there's rust inside that pan under there. Now that pan may have been outside at some point, or they could have had an overflow this summer and there's rust, but it's just worth noting. And it's something that would show up on an inspection as well. But not a lot of concern behind it. But again, just one of those things that I notice, and I know that it'll pop up on an inspection. The one thing that is not present up here is a lot of storage space. You could store things right here on this walkway. If you or not if, but when at some point when this, you've got to service this, you've got to change filters on it. So you would have to keep a walkway there so you couldn't fill that up with storage. But that's really your only additional storage that I'm seeing. I need to make one more walk out into the garage just to make sure there's not another attic access up there, but there is your attic access. All right, so I'll give you a few final thoughts here as I'm kind of walking back through the living area. There's not another attic access in the garage, so you do have limited space up there. In terms of your storage, again, your closets are pretty big, but common area storage. You really have the utility room, and you have that closet there on the back side of the kitchen where the guest bath is. Um, in terms of overall build quality, I like it. I'm not seeing a lot of issues with walls and things like that. The house, I believe, has been here for a little bit, and through the summer that we had this year, there's not a lot of cracking. In fact, I really hadn't seen any drywall issues along the walls. So from that perspective, really, really nice. Now, I don't know if it was the original intent or if it was something that happened with cost overruns, but the door hardware and the sink hardware, I'm not 100% sure about. I know some of it came from Amazon and Wayfair just by looking at the brands. And I can't speak to the quality of it. It is not, it's not Delta, it's not Moen or any of those. So I really don't know much about it. So that's one of those things that I'm like, okay, maybe they tried to cut some corners there with the door hardware and the sink hardware, but it may end up being fine. I'm not educated enough to know about it. Um, Fit and finish, I think it's really nice. Again, from the plantation shutters in the front to the Roman shades here along the back and in the other rooms, really good. I really like it a lot. I love all of the trees on it. Again, not being landscaped. Personally, my yard is not landscaped because I did not want to take care of a manicured yard anymore. And so my yard looks a lot like this. But with kiddos, if you guys want something a little more manicured, that'll have to be something that you add after the fact. I think that's really it kind of for my thoughts on it. The one thing is, if you guys were considering making an offer on this, um, I would make sure that we included a couple of things. One, I would want the builder to allow us to do a blue tape walk because there's some little nicks and blemishes and stuff on the paint here and there that the builder needs to take care of and redo. There are, some doors that don't have the correct reveals around them and stuff like that. So I would require that they include a blue tape walk, just like they should, and there shouldn't be an issue with them on that. And then also I would ask them to include a 1-2-10 warranty, which I'm sure they will. Again, that's fairly standard here, but a 1-2-10 is almost like a bumper to bumper for 1 year. They'll come back at the end of a year, touch up any cracks